Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Someone who is so ardently devoted to something that it resembles an addiction. A car nut. Half the width of an M. A whimsically eccentric person. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. A small, usually square or hexagonal, metal block with internal screw thread to be fitted onto a bolt. Egyptian goddess of the sky. Gather nuts. Usually large hard-shelled seed. Someone who is so ardently devoted to something that it resembles an addiction. A golf addict. To cause, someone or oneself, to become dependent on something, especially a narcotic drug. Someone who is physiologically dependent on a substance. Abrupt deprivation of the substance produces withdrawal symptoms. Someone who is so ardently devoted to something that it resembles an addiction. A bodybuilding freak. Lose one's nerve. When he saw the accident, he freaked out. A person or animal that is markedly unusual or deformed. Someone who is so ardently devoted to something that it resembles an addiction. A news junkie. A narcotics addict. Someone who is so ardently devoted to something that it resembles an addiction. A narcotics addict. Half the width of an M. A whimsically eccentric person. Start by cranking. Crank up the engine. Rotate with a crank. A whimsically eccentric person. An amphetamine derivative, trade name methadone, used in the form of a crystalline hydrochloride, used as a stimulant to the nervous system and as an appetite suppressant. A hand tool consisting of a rotating shaft with parallel handle. Used in boats, inclined to heel over easily under sail. Travel along a zigzag path. A bad-tempered person. Bend into the shape of a crank. Fasten with a crank. A whimsically eccentric person. A rich cake containing dried fruit and nuts and citrus peel and so on. A whimsically eccentric person. A whimsically eccentric person. Foolish. Totally unsound. A screwball proposal without a prayer of working. A pitch with reverse spin that curves toward the side of the plate from which it was thrown. A lavish dance requiring formal attire. United States comedian best known as the star of a popular television program, 1911 to 1989. A solid projectile that is shot by a musket. They had to carry a ramrod as well as powder and ball. A ball game played with a bat and ball between two teams of 9 players. Teams take turns at bat trying to score runs. He played baseball in high school. A compact mass. A ball of mud caught him on the shoulder. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. She kicked him in the balls and got away. An object with a spherical shape. A ball of fire. A more or less rounded anatomical body or mass. The ball at the base of the thumb. A pitch that is not in the strike zone. He threw 9 straight balls before the manager yanked him. A spherical object used as a plaything. He played with his rubber ball in the bathtub. Form into a ball by winding or rolling. Ball wool. Round object that is hit or thrown or kicked in games. The ball traveled 90 miles per hour on his serve. The people assembled at a lavish formal dance. The ball was already emptying out before the fire alarm sounded. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. A pulley block at the head of a topmast. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. Oval reproductive body of a fowl, especially a hen, used as food. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. Animal reproductive body consisting of an ovum or embryo together with nutritive and protective envelopes, especially the thin-shelled reproductive body laid by e.g. female birds. Coat with beaten egg. Egg a schnitzel. Throw eggs at. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. Any of various deciduous terrestrial orchids having fleshy tubers and flowers in erect terminal racemes. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. An ardent and enthusiastic supporter of some person or activity. A pike with a long tapering double-edged blade with lateral projections, 16th and 17th centuries. Devoted to a cause or party. A person having a strong liking for something. An ardent and enthusiastic supporter of some person or activity. An ardent and enthusiastic supporter of some person or activity. A pike with a long tapering double-edged blade with lateral projections, 16th and 17th centuries. A fervent and even militant proponent of something. Devoted to a cause or party. A unit of measurement of length. A unit of measurement of length. A person of a specified kind, usually with many eccentricities. A friendly eccentric. Not having a common center, not concentric. Eccentric circles. Conspicuously or grossly unconventional or unusual. Famed for his eccentric spelling. A person with an unusual or odd personality. A crystal of snow. Come off in flakes or thin small pieces. A small fragment of something broken off from the whole. A person with an unusual or odd personality. Cover with flakes or as if with flakes. Form into flakes. The substances started to flake. A person with an unusual or odd personality. A person with an unusual or odd personality. A carnival performer who does disgusting acts. A person with an unusual or odd personality. A gland in which gametes, sex cells, are produced. A gland in which gametes, sex cells, are produced. The reproductive organs of a man.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.